Welcome back to another episode of the Woollentwine Fiber Studio knitting podcast. My name is Jule and I am the dyer and maker behind Woollentwine Fiber Studio, which is a natural dyeing fiber studio where I dye natural yarns that are all non-superwash and plastic free, and where we also have local yarn production and locally produced yarns. So today I want to share some knitting with you, which I haven't been doing in way too long. I know I've been teasing you with recording another episode for, 3 weeks or so, but I just couldn't get around doing it and squeezing it in between dyeing and the whole Christmas craziness. So it took me a while, but I finally managed to sit down and chat to you, so hope you enjoy. And I wanted to say a big thank you, first of all, for the overwhelming support on last month's update, because you just absolutely killed this update. It was crazy. We've been packing for about, 2.5 days at least, at full speed from morning to late evening. And even though I had help, it was just really crazy. And I'm just so thankful for your support. And it felt very nice to be able to make some of you happy and maybe send you some Christmas presents to yourself or to a loved one from the last update. And it just means the world to me that you're making it possible for me to have this as my job. And so a big thank you to you all. And I can't wait to see what next year brings. Usually after the update, I try and take 1 or 2 days off dyeing at least, so I can focus on some admin stuff and just relaxing a little bit, because dyeing wool is a physical job, and especially in the times right before an update, there's a lot of physical things, and I usually like to take 1 or 2 days off, or maybe even more, where I can kind of rest my body. But this time I decided I wanted to take a little bit of a longer Christmas break, and so we're already again knee-deep in dyeing more yarn for the next update that's due in January. There is not a date yet. I will announce that later, but don't worry, you'll not miss it. I'm gonna send out newsletters and everything, so I hope to be able to announce the date next week, so you can know before Christmas and maybe plan a little bit. We're really busy dyeing again, just because there is only very little stock left in the shop after the last update, which still amazes me, because we had so many skeins. We dyed so much for the December or November update, and basically lots of it is gone. All the Christmas colorways went really fast, and so now there's still a couple of colorways left in the shop if you want to have a look, and we're still shipping up until next week, to ensure that some of them, some of the skeins might arrive before Christmas. At least German customers should be able to buy still and have it ready for Christmas. And we are shipping every day up until next Friday, to make sure that everything goes out as quickly as possible. And then I have a little announcement to make that from next Friday on, which is the 17th of December, I think, we will be on holiday for, let's see how long, definitely over the Christmas holiday and until New Year. I'm planning on not working between Christmas and New Year's, maybe answering a couple of emails and DMs on Instagram, but that's all. If you want to get your order before January, shipped before January, then definitely place your order until next Friday, because yeah, next Friday is the last shipping date before our holiday. That holiday will be well needed, because I have a feeling I haven't been knitting this little in years. The last couple of weeks were so busy that sometimes I just went home from the studio and I just crashed on the sofa and fell asleep immediately. So yeah, there was not a lot of knitting time, unfortunately, but I still have a couple of things to show you, and also I will share my holiday knitting plans in a separate video where I'm just going to chat you through the ideas I have for the holiday, where I hopefully have a lot of knitting time, at least that's planned. So let's jump right into chatting about my finished objects. Some of those, or I think it's one of those is actually not knitted by me, but I will tell you more about it, and I wanted to include it anyways. And some of them you might laugh at me, because some of them have been in the works for so long. And because I kind of, when I had a little bit of knitting time, I kind of wanted something very simple and nothing where I would need to use my brain too much. So it was nice to grab some older whips and finish them. So yeah, that was a nice little calm TV knitting thing. And yeah, so many of these are very simple knits, but I still love them and I'm still happy that I finished them. By the way, I'm wearing my visiting cardigan, which is one of the most wonderful patterns I've knitted in a long while, and I chat about this more in, I think, episode 4, if I'm not mistaken. I'm gonna link it in the little eye. Is it here or here? I never know. But I'm gonna link it for sure, and I'm gonna show you more in depth how it looks like worn. And yeah, I just wanted to say that I'm getting so much wear out of this cardigan and that it's just so nice, and yeah, I still enjoy it. So the first FO I want to talk about is actually a very small one, and it was a gift to my boyfriend, who had requested a new pair of socks for way too long. I think I showed the work in progress of this in my first episode of this podcast, so yeah, it's a while ago. But these are the finished socks, finally, that I knitted out of Garthenau's Snowdonia sock, and that were inspired by Lindsay of A Wooden Nest. She used to talk about the Sportweight socks in some of her knitting videos a while ago, and I was really inspired also because I wanted to test whether knitting with a sock yarn held double might increase the wear and benefit the durability of the sock. So yeah, these are Sportweight socks, just very simple vanilla socks. I made kind of a short cuff, and the cuff is pretty slim just because my boyfriend has really slim ankles, and then the foot portion is a bit wider to fit his foot, and I'm really pleased with how they turned out. As said, I used Garthenau's Snowdonia sock, which is an organic, non-superwash and plastic-free sock yarn made from Romney and Hebridean sheep wool, and this is the colorway Tomen. I'm not sure how to pronounce this, but yeah, it's just a beautiful kind of charcoaly gray, and yeah, it's just a very simple sock. I don't have a pattern for this. I just wrote some notes on how I made those, and yeah, let me know if you're interested in having my notes, because I'm not gonna become a knitwear designer, but if you're interested in my Sportweight sock recipe, then just let me know. I knitted the sock yarn, which is a standard sock yarn weight, like 400 meters per 100 grams, and it's a worsted spun. And I knitted that one double-stranded with 2.75 millimeter needles. So it's actually kind of a tighter gauge, so the whole fabric is quite tight actually, which is what I wanted to achieve, so I could see how it will hold up and how it will affect the durability. And so far I'm really happy, also with the fit, because I have a feeling that the tight fabric just sits very snug on the foot. And it's just very nice and doesn't like, I have a feeling these will hold up to their shape much better than some other socks that you might have to wash sooner because they just get too loose. So yeah, I'm gonna update you on how they wear, because I think it's a good example to use my boyfriend for these kind of experiments, just because he's much harder on his socks than I am. And so yeah, I'm gonna update you on how they wear and how they hold up, and if I can recommend it for durability, and if this test was successful, so to speak. So yeah, the Snowdonia sock yarn is something I can definitely recommend. It's very lovely to knit with, and I just love the mix of softness and rusticness in this. It's just the perfect, it's perfectly on the line between soft and rustic, and I don't know if you can see, but it also has a little bit of like a halo. And I have a feeling that these are very warm and very nice. So gonna update you on this. The next FO I have is actually a sweater that I think it's from the same episode that I just shared the socks of. I think I had this as a whip in my first podcast episode. Or maybe the second, I'm not sure, but very early. And this is the Odette sweater by Sari Nordlund. Actually, I'm not 100% sure if I showed you this FO already. Well, I'm gonna show you anyway. If you saw it already, then just skip this part. But yeah, it's a very simple drop shoulder sweater design that I knitted in Retrosaria Rosa Pomas Brusca yarn, and it's just a natural sheepy color, so not dyed or anything. And I just really love how it turned out. I did crop it quite a bit, as I usually do with my sweaters, just because I'm quite short and usually regular length sweaters are not very fitting for my height. So I cropped this one, and it's just a very simple, very warm layering piece that I like to wear over linen dresses or just generally over dresses to keep me warm. And yeah, again, the pattern is Odette by Sari Nordlund, and it's very well written and very well, very thought through, I have a feeling. Because also the way the sleeves fit and the sleeves are knitted is just as simple as it gets. It still is very thought through and very focused on the fit of this. So if you want a simple, easygoing stockinette sweater that you can wear with basically everything, then this is definitely a recommendation from me. So yeah, knitted in Brusca yarn. Have I forgotten anything else about it? It's a while ago that I finished this one, so I'm not sure if I should mention anything else, but no, I think that's all. And yeah, I'll make sure to maybe insert some wearing clips where I can show this off a little bit better. And I actually managed to finish another sweater, which I showed you in my last episode, I think, when it was still a whip. And it's finished, but it's only just now finished. And I haven't woven in the ends or anything, just because I'm not sure whether I have to change some things. So this is my Ava sweater by Melody Hoffmann of Bee Mandarins. And it's just a very simple drop shoulder sweater. And this time I knitted this one in my own yarn actually in the BFR Massam DK base in the colorway called Taupe, which was in the shop earlier this year, and it's kind of a brown purple gray, like a taupe. And yeah, it's a very lovely sweater, and I love the neckline of this one, just because it's, I kind of have a thing for rolled necklines, and this one with a little ribbing below is just so nice, and it sits so nicely, and yeah. It's also very enjoyable to knit. It's knit bottom up, and then you separate for the shoulder kind of yoke portion, and then you just you graft these little stitches together at the shoulder, I think using a 3-needle bind-off technique, yeah. And then you just pick up stitches for the sleeves and knit them in the round. So it's just very simple, very nice TV knitting, and yeah, I totally enjoyed knitting this, although I might have to change things because I cropped this one as well, but I kind of cropped it too much, I feel. I don't know if you can see, but the body portion is very, very short, and I'm not sure whether I should add a couple of centimeters to the bottom. Luckily, the sweater is first done with a provisional cast on, then you knit the sweater, and then you add the ribbing at the bottom. So I could easily unpick and rib back and then add a couple of centimeters. And yeah, I'm not sure whether I have to do it or not, but I'm gonna block it and see if I can get a couple of centimeters out of blocking maybe. Then I'll try it on and decide from there, I guess. So this is kind of hibernating a little bit again, because I do have a feeling, or I do have a crave for a new cast on, and I kind of want to get this done as soon as possible. Maybe I will actually block it later today so I can finally see how it fits, and if it's too short, or if I have to, yeah, and if I have to add a couple of centimeters. But I think the color is very nice. As someone who has a lot of neutrals and blacks, I feel like this is like very soft and muted, but a little bit of color. So I think I will get a lot of wear out of this. I just enjoy it a lot. And yeah, there's still a couple of sweater quantities worth of BFM Massam DK in the shop. So I think if you want to knit yourself an Ava sweater as well, you can still get a couple of colors where there's enough for this sweater. I think, if I remember correctly, I used 4 skeins so far. So 400 grams for a size 3. I should write down what sizes I'm knitting, but I think it's either size 3 or size 4. I guess size 3. And yeah, so I think if you go for like a regular length and don't crop it too much, so I'm like I did, you should be good to go if you want to knit a size 3 with 500 grams. But I even have a couple of more skeins in the shop of some colorways, so even if you're knitting a larger size, that shouldn't be a problem, because I always make sure that I dye enough of every colorway, so every size should be able, no, let me put it again, every person, regardless of size, should be able to knit with my yarn and have enough of it in one batch. So yes, BFM Massam DK is still in the shop, and I can really recommend you to make an Ava sweater out of it. So yeah, let me see. I will update you whether I have to like redo the ribbing or lengthen the ribbing or whatever I'm gonna do with it. But yeah, that's my Ava sweater so far. I already chatted so much that I need a little sip of tea in the meantime. That's it for my sweater FO so far. And now we're getting to the FO that I actually didn't knit myself. Some of you might have seen this in my little yarn preview from the last update, because I showed it to show off the BFM DK base. But my mom knitted this one, and it's the, I have it the right way around. This is the Elfriede shawl by Shannon Cook from Laine Magazine Issue 6. Yeah, Issue 6. And it's just a simple triangular shawl with these little lacy bits. And then at the bottom it has this beautiful ribbed border. And I just really like how this turned out, so I wanted to show you, even though I didn't knit it myself. But look at the little trees. Very fitting for the season that we're in at the moment. It looks like little trees, I think. And yeah, it has a beautiful slip stitch border over here. And I just feel it's a very pretty design with some garter stitch at the other bottom. And Mom chose 3 skeins of our artichoke colorway on the BFM DK base to knit this, and I feel like it has such a nice natural botanical vibe to it, kind of. And yeah, it's just very lovely, and it knitted up in like no time. I know my mom is a pretty fast knitter, but it still was pretty quick, and she used almost the whole 3 skeins, but she made the border, this border here, a little bit shorter than the pattern intended. So yeah, if you want to make this pattern in the original way, then I would recommend maybe going for 4 skeins, just to be on the safe side. And yeah, this is the artichoke colorway, and I feel like it's both kind of fitting the Christmas season, but also kind of spring-like, because it's a very fresh and light green. But yeah, I'm just really pleased with how it turned out, and I hope my mom will get a lot of wear out of this. I personally love the BFM DK base for shawls. I have one in the DK base and one in the 4-ply base, and these are my daily go-to shawls in the winter season. Just because it's very soft, and for me, at least for my sensitivity level, it's not itchy or anything on the skin, so you can definitely wear it next to the neck, at least from my perspective. So yeah, that's very lovely. And so this is the Elfriede shawl, and yeah, I think it's also available as an individual pattern on Ravelry. So yeah, that's it for my FOs. I have another pair of socks that I finished as a Christmas gift, but those are just in a commercial sock yarn, because the recipient wears those in her garden shoes, and they get dirty a lot and they need to be washed a lot, and I have a feeling that it's just easier for her if I don't have to write down a whole care instructions thing for my own yarns. Like, it's better that they are a bit more, don't need to be cared for as much. So these are machine washable apparently, and it was kind of weird to knit with these kind of yarns after I have transitioned to only knitting with non-superwash and plastic-free yarns. So yeah, it was kind of a new experience, but yeah, they are done now, and I can go back to my beloved natural yarns again. And yeah, I still wanted it to make it as easy for her as possible, and that she enjoys wearing them and doesn't have to be scared that she might felt them or anything. Because of course everyone can learn how to care for natural yarns, but I would just rather have it easy for someone who might not have the time and interest into learning so much about non-superwash yarns and felting and pilling and everything that might happen if you don't treat it properly. So yeah. So I think for the next section I should start with, or I should chat about my works in progress, which is pretty little. There isn't a lot to show, but yeah, I'm gonna do it anyway, and yeah, stay tuned. So let's chat about my works in progress that I'm having at the moment. First of all, another project that my mom is actually knitting, but I wanted to show you anyways because I just love one particular thing about this project. So, and I thought it's nice for you to see how my yarn knits up, and so I wanted to show it anyways. It's very nice because my mom started knitting with my own yarn, and she's now very into it and prefers it a lot over commercial yarns, which is what she used to learn how to knit with, and so it's a big compliment that she enjoys knitting with it. And this is a cardigan project called Morrow by the wonderful Orlane of beverage, and I think, as far as I remember, this was designed in collaboration with Brooklyn Tweed, and it's very beautiful because it has a very nice, it's a raglan shape, but it has a nice A-line to the bottom, and Mom just finished casting off the bottom and she's about to cast on or pick up for the sleeves again. But what I particularly love about this is, I'm going to show you the back, I think, is this raglan detail that I feel is so nice and decorative, but still not too much. And I think it's just really pretty. And this one is actually knitted in our BFM Massam DK again, in the colorway Olive, which is kind of a hybrid between a yellow and a green. And I think it's so nice and yeah, autumnal kind of, and very wearable. So I'm excited to see how this is going to turn out. I feel like the color is so nice, also with like browns and grays and blacks. So I think you could wear it with a lot of other colors, and yeah, it looks very nice. And I can only say, Mom said it's an enjoyable to knit pattern. I cannot say anything about it myself, but yeah, it's just very lovely, and I'm excited to see how it's gonna turn out. Olive is actually still in the shop, if I remember correctly, also in sweater quantity lots, so if you wanna have something for maybe a little holiday knit, then you can still get it. And then the next project is housed in this beautiful bag that's Hayden Hannah, and I think I got it as a Christmas present last year when it was still possible to order from the UK without a lot of fuzz and problems with the Brexit. And it's just lovely. I really enjoy it. It's a black kind of canvas. I don't know if it's a canvas or I think it's an oil skin maybe even. I'm not sure, but it actually is water repellent and has those little leather straps that are just aging beautifully over time. And I really like that you can adjust the straps here and also adjust the size of the bag with that, because it just rolls, and the more you have in it, the lesser fabric you can roll, and then you can just make it a little bit bigger. But this project has been hibernating for way too long. And it is actually, it's very wrinkly, so excuse me for stuffing it into my project bag, but it's actually the Bonnie cardigan by the just recently mentioned Orlane, and it's just a very simple raglan cardigan, and it's kind of like the big sister to her previously released design that's called Albini. And yeah, it's originally designed in our rustic merino worsted, and don't ask me why, I might be bad at knitting samples for the shop, but I kind of craved knitting one of those out of knitted yarn. So I knitted this one out of the colorway Aska. I don't know, I think it's from kind of this year's August's update or so. It's a near black colorway of the knitted, and it's just lovely, and I can totally imagine this one being a wardrobe staple that I can wear over everything. So yeah, it's almost done. I usually do it this way, that I start knitting at the top and then I do the sleeves first before I go for the rest of the body. But can you see the little detail? There's a little Latvian braid before the cuff ribbing, and it's just very lovely. And so yeah, I'm pretty far down. There's only a few centimeters left before I can start with the ribbing, and then it's only the button band and I'm done. And look at this little progress keeper that I added to it. It's a little toadstool, and I got this as a gift from my friend Eva of the Blue Rabbit House. And I imagine these are from a Dutch maker. I think she's called Simply Natural Handmade. I will definitely link it below, but it's just so cute and I really enjoy it, especially because the wood is very lightweight, so it doesn't drag my knitting too much, and it's just very lovely. So yeah, that is my Bonnie cardigan. It's a bit wrinkly and has been hibernating for a little while, but I'm very determined to finish it, maybe even before the holidays, just so I can play with all the new cast-ons that I'm thinking of right now. And yeah, I think that's it for my works in progress. I still have my little design thingy, the little beigey brioche sweater. I still have this one in the works, but I was kind of unsure about the depth of the armhole, or how you say it. And so I kind of abandoned it for a while until I could make up my mind and decide on how deep I want the armhole to be. Just because I kind of feel it would be nice to have a bit more room in the sleeve and have it a bit more oversizey. But yeah, I will have to make up my mind about this one as well, and maybe continue on it when there's a little bit more knitting time again. So, for the last part of this episode, I would like to show some recent yarn acquisitions that I bought. Oh, I'm sorry if this chair is squeaky, by the way, but I needed something more comfortable to sit on than my usual podcast chair. So I recently acquired two different fellow dyers, and I absolutely love what I got from them. I know it might seem weird to purchase yarn if you have so much around every day and purchase it from like another place, but I feel like I do have to see other people's work and admire them, and they do inspire me all the time, and I like to be connected to the community of natural dyers, and I don't know, I just enjoy a little different yarn than my own ones every now and then. And yeah, I also want to congratulate some of the awesome makers that are around here, and I want to support them, and yeah, hope for this community to grow and for natural yarns to become even more popular, and yeah, to maybe contribute to the sustainability of natural yarns and spread the word about natural yarns. So that's why I do like to support other makers every now and then and knit with their yarns, and also speak about their work in my podcast, because I have a feeling it's nice that we are having this little community that's growing all the time. And yeah, I just want to spread the word as much as I can and use my little space in the internet to also promote other people's awesome work. And yeah, enough rambling about this. My most recent acquisition was more yarn of someone I showed you in another episode before, and that's from Tubo hand dyed, and she dyes with natural dyes as well. And I always swoon over her color palette because, yeah, I think she is the master of those muted kind of off colors, and she's really good at dark browns, dark grays, and these kind of earthy tones and everything. So yeah, I just totally admire her dyeing skills, and I'm always so happy to every now and then purchase a couple of skeins from her, just because her work really inspires me. And this is her standard fingering weight base. That's a mix of I think 75% Gotland sheep and some merino mixed in, and it's a naturally grey base, so that's why there's such a beautiful depth to the color. And I got this blue, brown, grey that I'm planning on maybe pairing with a strand of ethically sourced mohair to knit myself a sweater out of this. But I'm not sure yet. I really love the halo that this yarn naturally has, and I'm wondering whether it would be even nicer with some mohair or if I should just hold it double. I'm not sure yet. I just received this yarn yesterday, so I haven't made up my mind on what to make from it. But I got 1, 2, 3, 4 skeins of this color, and yeah, it's just really lovely, and I can't wait to cast on with these. So if you have any pattern recommendations where you're like, oh, this is perfect for the yarn, please let me know, because yeah, I haven't made up my mind on what I want to make from it. And then I also got a single skein of the same base in this absolutely stunning color. That's like a dark emerald kind of green. And I feel it's so beautiful. It's even more beautiful in real life, and maybe a bit more bluish in real life. But yeah, it's just so beautiful, I couldn't resist. And I'm actually wondering whether it would be nice to make a pair of socks out of this. I don't know if you know, but I'm still experimenting quite a lot with knitting socks out of natural yarns, and see what benefits are there if you, for example, knit them at a tight gauge, or how to basically enhance their longevity and their durability. And yeah, I'm wondering whether, because this one has such a halo, and I have a feeling it's kind of a little bit more on the like prone to felting side. Not that that's a bad thing or anything, but there are yarns, for example, when they are woolen spun, they are easier to be felted than if they're a worsted spun yarn. And yeah, if they're a bit more hairy, it's easier for it to felt. So I was wondering if it would be worth trying maybe to knit a tiny bit too big of a size, and then purposely felting it at a couple of areas where they usually wear through. So yeah, that's an experiment that I think would be nice to do, but I also don't want to ruin this precious yarn. So I don't know, do you have any like experiences with purpose felting on socks? I don't know. It would be lovely if you could share them with me if you do have them. But yeah, until then I'm gonna dream up what I might knit with this, but it's definitely gonna be a pair of socks. That's my plan. And then, last but not least, I got this absolutely beautiful set of mini skeins, all in very earthy tones. There's a little reddish one at the back, but they're all very grey and brown and blue. And They are actually intended to become a little bit of a woolen embroidery, and I totally can't wait to try this out because I'm not very experienced at embroidering. But I would love to give it a bit more of a try. I did used to embroider when I was a kid, but I only did cross stitching quite a lot, and now like this kind of freehand embroidery is something very new to me. So yeah, can't wait to try. She tied those little skeins with a naturally dyed ribbon, and I really love the detail of it, and it's just very right up my alley, with the earthy tones. And yeah, let's see what I might make with it. This was kind of an impulse purchase, and yeah, I don't have a plan for this yet, but I'm super happy because it's just so pretty, and it's like a little gift to myself for Christmas maybe. Yeah, so far about my Tubo hand dyed acquisitions. I got more sock yarn, just because I definitely noticed that I have been knitting way too little socks in this year. I usually knit a few pairs per year, and I split them between for me and for my partner, but this year I kind of didn't have the knitting mojo for socks. I don't know why, but yeah, I have one in the works that you saw in an episode earlier, that I'm gonna show you hopefully soon. I haven't made much progress on this one, so I'm not gonna show it again in this episode, but I hope to be able to finish at least one and give it a good wear test, because it's in a new yarn that might be coming to the shop very soon. And yeah, so I had one pair that I'm already test wearing, and I want to change some things and test wear another pair for a couple of weeks before launching the yarn. So yeah, I hope to finish this socks very, very soon, and then update you on how this wears, and in the next episode where I might introduce this new yarn that's to come. But in the meantime, I want to chat about another gorgeous sock yarn that was just recently released by the ever so talented Emma of Woolly Mammoth Fibers, and she just released her new sock base that's called Hearth sock, I think. And it's a naturally grey yarn that she dyes her ever so beautiful shades on. And this is the natural color that the yarn comes in, and then she dyes it with natural dyes as well. And I just couldn't resist to get some skeins and test them out, and yeah, I'm just really excited to try them. I think they're a bit more on the heavier side for a sock yarn, so they're not exactly 400 meters, but 330 meters per 100 grams. And it's a 50% Jacob, 50% BFL mix, of course, non-superwash and plastic free, as all of Emma's yarns are. And yeah, I just think, I don't know if this focuses, but I think the yarn looks so wonderful, and I love the rusticness of it. I can imagine it's gonna be really warm when you wear it. And I'm excited to cast on. I already have way too many plans on what to knit over the holidays, so I'm not sure whether I will be able to cast on another pair of socks, but yeah, who knows? Maybe the urge will overcome me and I will just cast on. Who knows? But apart from the natural colorway, I also got the copper colorway, and this is like a coppery brown shade that I just absolutely love, and it looks so nice on the heathered grey base. So yeah, I'm really excited to try this yarn and see how it works. I think they both go so well together, but I'm not a big fan of colorwork socks. Like, I do like them, but it's not the first intention that I had, like, oh, let's knit a colorwork sock with these, because I kind of enjoy them being one-colored a bit more. But let's see what I will make with these. And yeah, that's the half sock. And I think that's it with my acquisitions, at least with my most recent ones. Is it really way too dark right now? I hope it's not, because the weather is so gloomy recently. We didn't have a lot of snow, unfortunately, but it's still very gloomy and dark, and I really hope that you will be able to see what I'm showing you anyways. But I'm just looking at my notes whether I did or chatted about everything I wanted to chat about. So yeah, I'm going to be updating the shop again in January, as said, and I'm gonna put a separate little video about it and what will be in it. I will definitely record that before launching again, and yeah, maybe consider signing up for the newsletter, just because that's the easiest way I can reach you about when the shop update will take place and everything. I've seen quite a few new people on the newsletter recently, so yeah, thanks for subscribing. I'm trying to keep the, not trying to put too many emails out because I don't want to annoy you too much with my stuff, but yeah, whenever there is something to say about a shop update or a new product to launch or a little special, I like to inform you, not only on Instagram, because yeah, we all know how it is with algorithms and things, so I don't want you to miss out on anything. So that's definitely the safest way to get informed about everything we're doing. And for the January update, I can already tell because I'm looking at things that we're preparing already, and it's gonna be a very special update this time, because we are going to launch a new yarn, like a new very, very limited yarn, but it's going to be very exciting, and we're also going to have loads and loads and loads of yarns, skeins, and yeah, I'm really looking forward, so I would recommend not missing out on that one. Yeah, enough with the shameless self-promotion at this point. I hope you're going to have the most amazing Christmas holidays, and enjoying the little festive season. I'm definitely enjoying it so much, even though that I'm so busy at the moment. It's still a nice kind of busy, and I do enjoy, for example, packing all your orders while listening to Christmas music and yeah, cozying up with some tea and some hot chocolate while I'm working. So that definitely makes it all much better, and yeah, I'm so looking forward to the holiday though, so definitely going to need a couple of hours of resting and knitting for sure, because yeah, it has been a crazy couple of months, which I'm not going to complain about because I'm so happy that they were so busy, but yeah, I can definitely need a few days of sitting on the sofa, knitting, watching some Christmassy movies, watching Lord of the Rings. I really crave a day of like a marathon of Lord of the Rings and maybe knitting, and then having good food and enjoying company of my family and friends. And so yeah, I'm really looking forward to that, and I hope you're gonna have the most beautiful holidays as well. I hope you're safe wherever you are. I know the situation is kind of yeah, not the best in many areas of the world at the moment again, but I hope that you will have your knitting to entertain you and to maybe unwind a bit and not think too much about what's happening in the world. And yeah, I hope you're having a good time, and I'm gonna chat to you very, very soon. Bye bye.